What's going on, guys? We are back for week number 4 predictions of the Rlcs. We'll recap sort of week number 3 as we go through the week 4 picks. I actually don't know what I'm going to pick yet for any of these games. Like, normally I kind of have an idea, but it's been just out of my mind. I'm just like, I don't know what to do yet. So we'll figure it out as we go throughout this video. Do some Gibbs predictions as well as we get into the vid. And let's get it going. So, here we are. Predictions. Let's go over to what happened in North America in week number 3. So, we looked at these games. I had my most hype matchup being EG versus FlyQuest. So I thought FlyQuest might have a chance, maybe more than EG versus Energy. That was silly of me. That was very, very silly of me. We see that EG takes out Energy. Only Gibbs got it right. Twitter got it wrong. And Gibbs, unfortunately, went with FlyQuest over EG, though. So we all finished 5-1. We'll go over these results as we talk about the next week in just a little bit. Actually, while we're here, I'm going to bring up the schedule on my other monitor. There we go. All right, so the big 3, they won a lot of games. EG beat Energy. So now we're into the large 4. Yeah, that's where we're sitting at right now in North America. It's going to get interesting these last 2 weeks. A lot of big games coming up for the bottom of the pile. There's basically 2 halves right now. Bottom 4, top 4, so we'll see how that goes. Go over to Europe. We all thought Mouse would win. They did not versus Complexity. They probably should have, honestly, early on in that series, but they fall. Vitality, they make the comeback. 2 extremely close votes with Vitality from Twitter. Vitality 52% versus PHG, and then Complexity 51% over Vitality here. Both Gibbs and Twitter got it wrong. The Twitter's not really centered anymore because I had to make it bigger because Mouse is a 4-letter acronym or a 4-letter team name. I don't know, abbreviation, whatever you want to call it. But everything else kind of went according to plan. I felt like this was the most normal Europe day we've had in a little while. Dignitas obviously doing Dignitas things with the sweeps. Weedham Girls showing up big. And Vitality finally showing that they are a good team, which makes sense. And then the Mouse Complexity was just a weird series that no one scored in. So my most hyped matchup had 6 goals in 5 games. That was not very fun. I thought maybe Fnatic shows up against Weedham Girls. I just wanted to see more of Weedham Girls. Weedham Girls handle them pretty easily. Vitality's series were pretty fun to watch. So Dignitas with the sweep. Someone called me out saying Dig flip sides. How is that not more hype? Well, I think I was right. That was going to be a total blowout. And it was. Dig takes down Flipside. Moving on. Into the standings we go. 13-3 for me for NA. Twitter's beat me by a game there. Twitter's also beat me by a game in Europe as well. 10-6 versus a 9-7 record. Gibbs 9-3 in NA, doing a very good job. And then EU, he's just 4-7. Like, Europe's hard to call, you know? So I don't blame him whatsoever. I'm at 22-10. Twitter's 2 games ahead of me. Gibbs at 13-10 because he doesn't always pick every single game. So, you know, he picks what he wants. Now let's get into this week's games. I've ordered them in hype. Actually, I don't even think... Oh, I did do the ones for Europe. Okay, so North America. Allegiance versus Rogue. So I have this one pretty hype just because we got to figure out who's the worst. The worst team, you know? Could be Rogue. It could be FlyQuest. Who knows? It could be Allegiance after last week where Achieve said that they would beat Cloud9 and they just got spanked. But everyone's getting spanked by Cloud9, so that's to be expected. I think Allegiance is better than what they've showed. Last week, they were playing Cloud9. Rogue is still having a lot of issues. The big question with Rogue is, say they lose this game. They have 3 games left where they potentially need 2 wins. Let's see what their schedule looks like. They have Allegiance this week, obviously. And then next week, they have EG and FlyQuest. And they also have Energy this week as well. So week 4 is Energy. Week 5 is EG and FlyQuest. So if they lose here, it's time to panic because Allegiance will have 2 wins. Ghost has a really good game differential. So you're probably going to have to win twice and hope Ghost loses to FlyQuest. So it's going to be tough. Like, I feel like they could wind up in a 3-way tie at 1-6 if they beat FlyQuest and FlyQuest beats Ghost. It's very possible, but that's not what you want to be hoping for. And right now, tiebreakers, obviously, with Ghost. They're 1-4. They're at -3. While Rogue is 0-3. They're at -6. At least they're 0-3 and they have like games to work with. But if they get a 3-0 win and they also lose some other game, which is what we expect, they'll still be below Ghost no matter what. So Ghost would then have to lose pretty badly in their last 2 series, and Rogue would have to lose with very slim margins. And the big game is the Rogue FlyQuest. Like, they would need a sweep there. So Rogue needs this win. Allegiance also does, though, too, because Allegiance, they're 1-3. They, like, if they pick up this win, they virtually, not even virtually clinch. They will at least be in the run-in because their game differential is awful. They have the same game differential as FlyQuest right now. And FlyQuest is 0-4, while Allegiance is 1-3. They're both at -7. What that means is if FlyQuest catches up to them, they're very likely to win that tiebreak because, obviously, you have to win more games than lose in order to catch up. So, Allegiance not looking pretty either for the game differential. Neither is Rogue, so they both want to win because tiebreakers are probably going to fall to Ghost. I'm going to go with Allegiance, though, here. I think Allegiance is the better team. They didn't look like it last week, but Rogue still hasn't shown me anything. Like, at least Allegiance has shown me that they can win and that they can play well. I haven't seen that from Rogue yet, so for now, we're going with Allegiance. Next game, Cloud9 FlyQuest. This is pretty simple. I feel like it's C9 versus mini C9. Like, FlyQuest is trying to become that C9 of, like, really fast play, really mechanically gifted, but just, like, they don't have the positional play. They don't have the experience. They don't even have the skill that Cloud9 has. They're just, like, worse in every category. And if they try and play with speed, Cloud9's going to eat them up. So, I don't expect much from FlyQuest here. But last time we said that when C9 played CLG late in the season, and then they got swept. So, who knows? But I'm going to go Cloud9 here. It should be an easy win there. Not much to say about that game. Next up, Allegiance versus EG. So, one thing that I didn't note for Allegiance is they haven't played any of the roster swap teams yet. So, that's Rogue, that's EG, that is Ghost. They play Ghost next weekend as their final game of the season. So, they're going to have 6 games after this week. And we just haven't, like, it's hard to tell what Allegiance is yet because we've seen them play against the Big 3, and they've struggled, but everyone has. And then we've seen them beat FlyQuest in a very, very close series, but that was the first series of the entire season. It's like, you know, that's so long ago at this point. So we're going to see where they land. Like, EG, though, looks like they're cementing themselves in that top 4, and they look better and better every single week. And not a lot of teams can say that. I would say EG can say that, and probably Ghost. That's about it. That are, like, improving every single week. I don't think Allegiance can win this, but I think it'll be interesting. I think it's possible upset alert, but EG, for EG, you just beat Energy. You need to come out and just destroy Allegiance. Like, you need to show why you're a top 4 team, and you need to show it here versus Allegiance and keep that game lead on Energy. Right now, technically, like, you don't have a game lead, but you've played Cloud9 and Energy has not. So you want to keep that buffer. Also, like, EG is in the running for top 2. They're 3-1 right now. If they win this series and then G2 loses later, well, guess what? EG is now tied with G2. G2 will have tiebreakers for now, but week number 5, EG plays G2. And they also play Rogue. So, EG probably gets that win versus Rogue. And then it's G2 or them probably going for that top 2 spot. Maybe Energy can also slip in there too. Because Energy also plays G2. And they play Cloud9. But they would have to beat Cloud9 if EG wins the series more than likely. So, very important series for EG to go into that week 5. Like, wanting the top 2 spot. And potentially only have to do is beat G2 for that. They have to hope that G2 loses, though. If Cloud9 loses to G2, EG's in trouble. Because even if they all finish at 6-1, which then could be very likely, because EG would still have to beat G2, and Cloud9 already has a loss from G2, so they would have to beat Energy. We could have 3 teams at 6-1, basically. The problem is EG's game differential right now is not great. They're +2. At 3-1, while the 2 4-0s, G2's at +8, Cloud9's at +10. So even if EG sweeps in their next series, they'll be a +5. And if G2 gets swept, they'll be at +5. So that's the only way they equal. Cloud9 would still be ahead of them by 2 games. That's how big of a lead Cloud9 has. So it's going to be tough to win tiebreaks versus those two. So EG's got to hope that G2 loses, and then they can take them on in week number 5. And that should be a very exciting game. Probably the hypest game that week, even though we have Energy G2 and Cloud9 Energy. It might be the hypest game, G2 versus EG. Next up, FlyQuest versus Ghost game in the battle for last, basically. Ghost has been improving every single week. I feel like they're getting better and better. They still don't look that great, though. I talked to Memory this week, and he's, like, very confident in his team, and he really wants to make a world championship, yada, yada. Everyone does. But he's very confident. He feels like every week they're improving like crazy. They didn't start practicing threes till after the Universal Open. So that's all great and all that you're improving, but why? Why'd you wait that long? Practice before the Universal Open. Get more practice in. You only had 2 weeks until the RLCS at that point. Seems absolutely crazy. And I know there was like late roster moves with Ghost and stuff like that with the mat stuff, but come on. Like, you got to get the practice in, but they're getting the practice in now. Hopefully it's not too little too late. They do have a very good chance to own all tiebreakers, but the only way they have a chance to go into tiebreakers or have an easy road into the playoffs is you have to beat FlyQuest. I don't know about this series. Every time I try and pick FlyQuest, they fail me. They haven't looked good at all this season. If there's any time to wake up, it would be this series, and so they would still have a chance to get in. Still be unlikely, because again, Ghost owns tiebreakers. They would need basically a sweep at this point. I can't. I was thinking about picking FlyQuest. I can't. Like, Ghost, defensively, they're playing really solid. They should be able to hold down FlyQuest. And then FlyQuest, they give up easy goals. And that's exactly what Ghost needs right now. Because Ghost, honestly, their offense is terrible. There's a lot of really bad offenses right now in North America. But Ghost, that's their main problem, is their offense. And FlyQuest usually gives up some easy goals. So I'm going with Ghost. I think their defense can hold FlyQuest, but we'll see. I think that could be a very interesting series if FlyQuest shows up, because I feel like FlyQuest still hasn't played to their potential yet, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Next up, we have Rogue versus NRG. This should be an Energy win, but NRG, man. It's a ticking time bomb at this point. Like, every week we're talking about, man, Allegiance looked really good versus NRG. Maybe that's what, you know, like, they can be a top team. Oh man, FlyQuest looked really good versus NRG. Maybe they can be a top team. At some point, you got to look at the common denominator, and that is NRG. Maybe NRG is making these guys look good because they're not putting on the pressure as much as they used to. Garrett had a terrible week last week. I mean terrible. Yeah, sure, some of that's pressure from EG or some of that is pressure from the other teams, but there was a lot of just unforced errors from Garrett G that led directly to goals. It was like 6 errors that led directly to goals. Maybe a couple of those are pressure related, but a lot of them were just unforced errors. I would say that at least 4. So Garrett's got to clean it up. And this is the perfect series to bounce back. Just destroy Rogue and get that confidence going into the last week where you play Cloud9 and G2. So Energy, you have to win this game. And yeah, you have to be ready for Cloud9 G2 in the final week. Next up, C9. Oh, sorry. Oh, God. We're breaking stuff. C9 versus G2. So Gibbs only going to be predicting C9 versus G2 this week. Just so you guys know. That's why we haven't had any predictions from him yet. But C9 G2. This one's tough, obviously. Both really good teams. Both 4-0. Whoever wins this, very likely, maybe not clinch a top 2 spot, but come very close to it. C9 will if they beat FlyQuest earlier. G2 won't because they still have to play both EG and Energy. The team's right behind them, so they could easily be surpassed once again. But Cloud9 to me is a better team. They played EG already, and they took them down. That was EG all the way back in, what, week 2, I think? Yeah, week 2. EG wasn't looking as good back then, to be fair. And they've swept everyone except for Ghost. And literally everyone's taking Ghost to 5 games. Cloud9 looks like a beast. G2 is still one of those teams, like, they haven't played anyone, to be fair. In, like, North America, They literally haven't played anyone yet. So they still have to play EG, Energy, and Cloud9. The three teams that we think are the World Championship teams. No one else really has been playing all that well. So we're going to see what we get out of G2. It should be a very good series. I do think Cloud9's the better team right now. I think Cloud9's won the last 4 matchups in a row, and 3 of those were sweeps. One of them was the 3-2 at Gnarly where Crow had his DC on his controller. So, like, they can definitely play with them, but C9's been dominant versus them lately. I'm going to go Cloud9 here. And let's go over to Giblet for his pick of Cloud9 versus G2. Well, Dad, so you know when I have those really bad poops? That's G2 right now. Their opponents are poop. And I think they're also poop. So I'm going to go Cloud9. Wow, thrilling stuff. Man, Giblet can really talk well now. His accent is kind of... I don't know where he learned that, but, you know. He's going Cloud9. Cloud9 for Giblet. And we're going to move on to Europe. We're just going to move on past that. Next up, Fnatic versus F3 to start off the Europe day. These are going to be interesting games because these first 2 games are basically who's at the bottom is very likely the case here. Fnatic 1-3, Flipside 1-2. Flipside hasn't played a lot of games yet. We haven't really seen anything for Flipside except when they played PSG and Cooksier went ham. Besides that, they haven't looked all that great. And not good at all, actually. They've scored 5 goals in 7 games. Not great. When they haven't played PSG. Even when they played PSG, they only scored 2 goals a game. That is my biggest gripe with them. Everyone's like, oh, we haven't seen a lot from Flipside, or Cooksier's a god. They haven't scored a lot. They beat PSG based on defense, basically, which is nice and all. But they need to find the offense. Like every other team in Europe. Every other team in this whole season. Got to find some offense. It'll start with defense, and I think that will get Flipside the win here. I think they are the better team than Fnatic. Fnatic is like, I don't know, man. Like, Fnatic, they showed up versus Vitality, where they put up some numbers. And that's it. Like, they put up a lot of goals in that series. And then after that, they put up 4 goals in 6 games. So they're very similar. Fnatic, I'm sorry, they also played Mouse, but they didn't score a lot there either. They scored 4 goals, or 5 goals in 4 games there. So a little bit better, but Fnatic just, they don't seem consistent. They seem like exactly the same team as last season, except their defense is worse. They're the worst defense in the league. I think that's still true. I'm not sure exactly. I haven't looked at the numbers completely, but I'm pretty sure it is. I think Flipside will find a little bit of their form. I'm still not sold on Flipside, but I think they'll win this series just because I think Fnatic's the worst team. Next up, we're going to do Mouse versus PSG. This one's interesting because Mouse looked like poop last week. And I mean poop. They looked terrible when they played Complexity. They were just giving up the ball all over the place by the end of that series. They obviously had no offense going for about 20 minutes there. They need to find something. Tigray needs to spark this offense again. PSG, though, same time, like, they look like garbage. But they did play Vitality and Dig, who I think might be the best 2 teams in Europe. Maybe and obviously Weedham Girls is up there too. But they got smacked around by Vitality, though. 4 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals in their 3 games. Then Dignitas scored 2, 2, and 6. So the defense hasn't been holding up too much. A little bit against Dig. I think they showed up a little bit better versus Dig, at least early on, and then it kind of fell apart. But I actually didn't like what I saw from Mouse as much as PSG. Like, I think PSG also didn't look great, but Mouse really disappointed me last week. I thought that was a week where they could get the win and then be like, all right, we're locked in for playoffs. Let's get ready. But they didn't look good at all. They just looked scared. They just looked like they were just, like, tapping the ball, like, away every single time. I think PSG will eat them up if they do that. If Mouse doesn't control the ball, control that midfield, control the challenges, they could be in trouble. I think Chaussette will control the midfield over Mouse. We'll see if Fruity can keep sparking that offense, just like moving up and doing crazy things. And we'll see. We'll see if PSG... I think PSG can win this. Also, if PSG wins this, we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams at 2 wins in week number 4 in Europe, which will be really nice. The only team that won't be there is whoever loses between Fnatic and Flipside. So, say Fnatic wins that. Then it's like Flipside's only 1-3. They still have a ton of games. And everyone else has 2 wins except for Weedham Girls and Dignitas. Will be really, really exciting to see how that plays out. Maybe that's why I'm picking it. I just want a little wild European days, you know? Next up, Fnatic versus Complexity. So, the Mouse PSG I think is really hyped just because I want to watch it. Excuse me. Like Fnatic Flipside, not really, because I think Fnatic's not so great right now. But also Flipside, I'm not sure about Flipside. I want to see what they have. Complexity's a similar boat, but I think Complexity's at least turning the corner. Complexity versus Vitality was a better Complexity, or the best Complexity we have seen so far this season. And they were going for like bumps and demos and all that. They need to keep that going and involve a lot into the offense. Even if he's not scoring or passing, as long as he's involved in those demos, I think that's a really good sign for Complexity. Like, it's fine to work the counterattack, but make your counterattacks actually do something. We saw versus Mouse, they didn't score anything. They're a very defensive team, but you got to be able to transition that into offense relatively quickly at some point. Again, Fnatic, the worst defense right now. I think Complexity can beat them here. And Fnatic, with that loss, if they lose both these games, I believe at that point they will be eliminated from playoff contention. So we'll keep that in mind as we go throughout the day. But I think Fnatic will be eliminated and they'll be in the promotion tournament after this weekend. Next up, Flipside Vitality. This is an interesting game to me because we still haven't seen Flipside at their best. We finally saw Vitality at their best last weekend. If Flipside beats Fnatic, I think that's a great way to come into this Vitality series, like ready, like rejuvenated. So far this season, they're probably not feeling that great because it's like, we have 1 win, but we didn't, like Cooks did everything, so Mystic and Yuki are probably like, But these boys can play at some point. I haven't seen it, but I do like Vitality here because I talked down about Flipside for a while now. They need to find the offense. Vitality found their offense by a lot. And if you can score goals in Europe, you're going to win games. Simple as that. I don't even care if your defense is a little shoddy. You're going to win games because no one is putting up numbers. Like, no one. So, I think Vitality can just win this on their offense alone and win that series. Next up, Weedham Girls Mouse. Weedham Girls looks like they should be a top 2 team. And if they lose this, then everyone is back in the race. Literally everyone's back in the race. Mouse needs this for a playoff spot. I don't think Mouse gets it. I think they will lose here. Weedham Girls should win this. And again, I'm saying this because it's Europe. They should win this, but, we've seen crazier things happen with Weedham Girls. Probably the worst loss this season was versus PSG, where they could have basically solidified their top 2 stand-in at that point. So, if this happens with Weedham Girl winning, then Mouse, they will lose twice as well. They'll be 2-4. Vitality will get a win here. Complexity gets a win. So they'll both be 3 wins. Flipside gets 1 win. They'll be tied with Mouse, but Flipside will have the edge because they'll be 2-3. Mouse will be 2-4. And then PSG will also be 2-4. So it'll be a very tight race going into the final week if this happens. Complexity as well will only be a 3 win, so it's like, whatever. But 2 wins across the board there. Then Fnatic versus PSG. PSG could win that one. Who knows? And then Mouse plays Flipside. That's their last game. Flipside. So if Mouse doesn't get a win this week, they could be out of the playoffs. They could easily be out of the playoffs. It's going to come down to PSG has a terrible tiebreakers because they're getting swept all over the place. They're 1-4 at -8 game differential, while Mouse 2-2 +1. So PSG is not catching Mouse in game differential, most likely. So PSG needs to beat Mouse, and they need to beat Fnatic in the final week. It's their last 2 games versus 2 of the weaker teams, I would say. PSG needs to win both. So we'll see. If they lose one, I think they could also be eliminated this weekend, depending on results. We might have PSG and Fnatic both out of the race, and we'll have our top 6 in playoffs after this weekend. It's very, very possible. If Mouse wins that game and Flipside does the same versus Fnatic, it's over basically, unless like Flipside gets swept all the rest of their games. That'd be like the only way, but that's unlikely. So yeah, so that's where we're sitting right now. Next up, Dig versus Complexity. Dignitas is really good, but this should be fun because Complexity's been their arch rival for the past 2 seasons. The reason why they made the roster move to begin with to pick up Greasy is to take down Dignitas. That's all that matters. But Dignitas is really good. But right now, I would say if I had to pick the 4 teams going to the World Championship, it would be Dig, it would be Vitality, it would be Weedham Girls, and it would be Complexity. It would be Complexity over Flipside, probably. So, Dig, who do they have left in their schedule? Complexity, Weedham Girls, and Vitality. They haven't played the 3 best teams in Europe, and they're just getting into form now, so this should be a good test for Dig, see if they can get their perfect season. I could see Dig losing one of these. I don't see them losing to Complexity, though. So I'm going to give it to Dig here. I'm probably always going to pick Dig because that's just a smart bet at this point. But they might have an even better season than their last 2. Their last 2 seasons, they've only lost 2 series in the entirety of the season, including regional championships, including the World Championship. Dig might do even better than that. They might lose only once. I could see them losing at like the regional championships for some odd reason, and then just going to the World Championship and just smack people around. So, I don't know. We'll see there. But let's go over to Giblet for his predictions on the Dig versus Complexity match. Speaking of poop, Daddy, have you seen a lot stats? Last in goals per game, last in assists per game. Only one other player's ever done that before. And that's Continuum from Team Secret, the team we do not talk about when they were in the RLCS because they were like my diarrhea blowouts, you know? So, because of that, because a lot can't spell a lot, and because Complexity is not dig, we're going to go with the little alien guy and go Dig. Well, thank you, Giblet. Fantastic picks here. Fantastic picks. Very, very smart. Oops, I'm going in the wrong column. Smart picks from Giblet here. Just going with Dig over Complexity. Very, very smart kid. Again, man, I don't know where he got that voice from. Maybe his mother's been trying to teach him stuff. I'm not really sure. But yeah, that'll do it, guys. For the predictions for the weekend, make sure you come watch. It's going to be a lot of fun. 12 games total. I'm ready. I'm excited. I hope you are. I think this one went a little long. I apologize about that. But I'm ready. I'm pumped. And I hope you are too. And that'll do it for me. We'll see you this weekend on the RLCS desk. Bye. Oh, vote in the Twitter polls. There'll be Twitter polls in the description. So, yeah, do that. Bye.